Hello panel, you're up. Who's our fullback for round one? With Tyrell Sloan injured for a lot of the pre-season and not a lot of options to replace Zach Lomax in the centres, who do you think gets the custodian job for round one 2024?
So the fullback for 2024 for the Dragons. I think Tyrell Sloan will get the first crack. I mean, it's a really big season for him. He's playing for a contract. Flano Week thinks the world of him. But he's got a lot to work on. He's a liability in defence. And he's a sort of confidence player. And when the things are going tough, his confidence really drops. And it really shows badly. If we were to move Zach Lomax to fullback, that really weakens our centre. Because I think at his best, Zach Lomax is an origin quality centre. He was starting to find his feet again towards the back end of 2023. So, yeah, a lot will depend on whether Sloan can grab this opportunity with both hands. Again, with Cody Ramsey unlikely to play at all again this year. In 2024. So I think Sloan will get the first crack, but Lomax may get an opportunity if Sloan fails to fire. The only thing is who plays centre if Lomax does make the move. Max Fine, he's been told to find another opportunity elsewhere if he can get one. Savelia Tamale, I don't know if he's quite ready yet. It may take him half the season before he gets a chance. Who knows? Hopefully he's ready sooner. And then you've got Sione Finau that can possibly play on the wing and push Matt Fine out of the centres. I don't think Jack Bird's a NRL quality centre anymore. I think his running game's right behind him, so it's a bit tricky. But at the moment, I would go with Tyrell Sloan to start the season and leave Zach Lomax at centre. But that could change going forward, so it's going to be an interesting one. But at the moment, I'd go with Sloan to start the season.
Got to admit, I'm a little torn on this one. Initially, when Tyrell Sloan did his injury at the Curry knockout, syndesmosis injury, I thought, well, it's not that serious. It's not a major injury. He'll miss a couple of weeks of pre-season, and you'll be right by, so sort of early December. He'll be back running, and he'll be back with the full squad before they break for Christmas. So I didn't think it was that big of a setback, and I thought he was going to be the right option for fullback. But now, since hearing about his thumb injury, it's another setback. It's another further delay to him beginning training, in full contact sessions with the squad. And I've got to admit, now I'm starting to have some doubts. And also listening to Flano talk, he seems a little disappointed, I think, with the fact that he hasn't been able to do with Tyrell Sloan what he had planned to do. He had big plans for him in terms of putting him through hell, basically, to get him ready for the 2024 season. He was sort of looking at this as being Sloan's breakout year. And now with the delays, those plans have had to alter and change a little bit. And I just get the feeling that he's a little bit disappointed and not confident that he's going to be able to get him to where he needs to be. And on the other side, whenever I hear him talking about the possibility of Zach Lomax at fullback, he tries to downplay it, but it kind of feels like he lights up a little bit when he talks about Zach Lomax playing fullback in terms of the style of player he thinks he can be from the back. Both in attack and defence, and what he can bring, and the work rate. And he's the fittest player in the club, and he's got all these skills, and he can do this and he can do that. And he just seems to become a lot more bouncy, a lot more bubbly, and a lot more excited about the idea of Zach Lomax at fullback. So I've sort of started to change and think maybe it's actually a real possibility. I initially thought it was a red herring, this whole idea of Zach Lomax playing fullback. I didn't think it was a serious suggestion at all, but the more I hear Flano talk about it, and the more setbacks I see Tyrell Sloan getting already, before we've even got into 2024, the more I think that it's actually a legitimate possibility that Lomax could play fullback. The thing that I think counts against that happening is our options in the centres. Like if I look at our centres and go, well, Zach Lomax and Moses Sully, that's a very solid centre combination, and I think Lomax still, I think he has the ability to be the best centre in the world. I think he is a world-class centre. Is he a world-class fullback? I don't know, but maybe not. But as a centre, I know he has the ability to be among the best centres in the entire game. So the idea of those two in the centres and Tyrell Sloan at fullback, it seems safer, it seems better balanced. If Lomax isn't in the centres, the options that we have to replace him, they give me a bit of anxiety, I've got to be honest. Like the idea of, everyone says, oh, Jack Bird goes into the centres. Yuck! It's not 2015 anymore. He is not a good option in the centres. He is slower than me. I would prefer you, whoever you are out there watching this video, I would prefer you to be in the centres over Jack Bird. I do not like the idea of Jack Bird playing in the centres in 2024. I think it's a terrible option. And then you look at the other options and go, well, one of the Feeney twins, no thank you. I don't think either of them defend at all well when they play in the centres. They don't seem to read the game well. They don't seem to understand how it all unfolds in front of them, and they make terrible decisions. I think they're a long way from being NRL centres. I think both of them reasonably capable NRL wingers. Although last year there wasn't a lot of evidence of that, I know. But in the centres, no thanks. And then you got, I don't know, Dan Russell has played a bit in the centres for Papua New Guinea. That's a Matt Pryor-esque type solution. A second rower playing a little bit wider. I like that better than Jack Bird in the centres, I've got to be honest, but that's about the nicest thing I can say about that option. Savelio Tamale, that's probably the most exciting option, simply because it's an unknown. We don't know how he's going to go in the centres. I think all the other ones we know it's a bad idea. We know it's a bad option. We've seen it. It doesn't work. Savelio Tamale, I don't think it'll work. I think he's way too green for the NRL. So yeah, I don't think Savelio Tamale is a great option, but it's unknown, and he's a talent. He's certainly got enough talent and ability, but I think he's got a bit to learn about rugby league. Again, particularly defensively, I think that he lacked a little bit in what I saw of him in New South Wales Cup. On the other side of the ball, with the ball, he's big enough, he's strong enough, he's physically capable of playing NRL in the centres. That's why he's got a top 30 contract. He's got a lot of ability. So that's probably the option that gives me the most excitement. But I still don't think it's good. So that's my biggest worry. I think Zach Lomax at fullback, I like the idea, but in terms of who replaces Lomax in the centres, I do not see any good solutions. I do not see anything that makes me comfortable as a Dragons fan with who's going to go in the centres. And Tyrell Sloan in the centres, my God, I didn't even think of that one. No. So that's my worry. That's why I think that if Tyrell Sloan can get his body right and be 100% fit for round one, I think he's probably still got to be our first choice fullback. That's my thoughts.